How you doing? Patrick Ewing Jr. here, EMS class of '96. Honestly, compassion and courtesy, common courtesy, are the things that I've honestly carried with me my whole life. Just having compassion for others in situations that may not be similar to mine, or just understanding people's different situations, and then just having the common courtesy to treat everyone the same. I think that is one of the most important values that you can have in life, and something that has actually got me to where I am today. Played the drums. I definitely played the viola. Not that I didn't go very far with with either of them, but I took the lessons and enjoyed that. And intramurals. I mean, just intramural sports. I definitely was one of those kids that wanted to play intramurals. I remember um, we played intramural volleyball, basketball. The memories that stick out the most to me are when it's just something that I kind of hope that they still do at the school. Was we learned how to square dance, and then we brought our parents to the gym to square dance with them. I thought that was amazing. My stepmom came with me, and that was actually one of my fondest memories of being young with my stepmom. And then my I believe it was my sixth grade year in '96. We had Charlotte's Web play, and I wanted to be in the play, and I tried to be Templeton the Rat. I ended up being a bat, which I wasn't happy about. Whoever made that decision, I'm a great actor still to this day. So if you want to go back, we can go back, and I will play Templeton if you want me to. I will. I promise you, I'll come do it. But I got to play the bat, and it was a great role. But I did an excellent job the first night. I had the whole crowd laughing at my one line that I only got one line. I'm very upset about that. But then I remember the second night for the performance, I believe I had a basketball game, which was something that was new for me at the time. I was my first year or second year playing like organized basketball. And I think my parents came to me and was like, well, you can either go to the play or you can go play basketball. And I was like, man, I'm not even Templeton. I'm going to play basketball. So I apologize. Because if I would have been Templeton, I'd have been there both nights. I'm telling you. But because I was only the bat, like bat number two, too, I wasn't even bat number one. I decided to go play basketball. So basically, my career path was made at EMS. Either I was going to be a basketball player or I was going to be an actor. And because I didn't get the role I wanted, I went to basketball. Probably the right decision. Field day, like I said, being an athlete, field day was always my favorite. And I also loved the fact that I think I was on the green team, and like my sisters were all on the green team after that. So I think like once your family's in one team, everyone in your family ends up being on the same team. So I always loved that about it. But field day, because it's not only was it like a fun day, but it's also like significant because it's like the end of school, which means it's about to be summertime. So I always loved summertime because I didn't have to go to class every day. But it was a field day would definitely be my favorite. And then the first day of school, because like for me, I didn't see most of my friends from EMS in the summertime. So to come back and to be able to see them for the first time in what was 3 or 4 months was always a great day. I feel like it helped me a tremendous amount. And I think the school that I chose to go to after that also played into it because they were able to assist me in my learning style a lot. And I think EMS was the first place where they kind of gauged my abilities to learn. And so I feel like a lot of when I was at EMS, like a lot of tests, my teachers allowed me to vocalize my answers instead of writing them down on pieces of paper because I couldn't really express myself in my writing as well as I express myself in words. Like I could tell you literally verbatim everything if you said it to me, but if I had to write it down, it was, I wasn't that great at it. So I felt like it was the first place I was really able to excel academically to my capabilities. I was able to be okay student before, but it was the first place where they were able to really understand how I learned and show me the right ways to be able to express myself and to show that I was very knowledgeable about everything. I just had to go about it a certain way. And I think that they were the first people to really show me how to do that. And I will forever be grateful for them, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would have been as successful academically as I was. When I left EMS, the first year I went to the Windward School in White Plains and had a great experience at the Windward School. That's a school that specializes in children with ADHD, ADD, which was something that at the time I was dealing with, and learned a lot there and took that. And for high school, I did my first year of high school at Columbia Prep. I went to Columbia Prep for half a year and then transferred and moved to Georgia where my mom lives. And I did 2 years of high school in Georgia, or 2.5 years, technically 2.5 years in Georgia. And then I did my last year at a school in Maryland. And then I went to university at Indiana University for 2 years. I was playing basketball, obviously, and then transferred after my second year and came to Georgetown University. And I played basketball there, went to a Final Four, was 3-time conference champion while I was at Georgetown. And then I took my, after I graduated, I turned pro, and I was a professional basketball player for 8 years. And then my coach from college asked me to come coach on his staff. And I've been now at Georgetown for 6 years in various roles. Honestly, it was from the day I was born, to be honest, like as far back as I can remember. And I attribute that to just my dad being a professional athlete. Like, most kids grow up and they see what their parents do for work and they want to do what their parents do. And so for me, it just happened to be that my dad was a professional athlete. So I wanted to be my dad. I wanted to be a professional athlete. So, he was the dad that brought me to his workouts. He brought me to his games. I was with him everywhere he pretty much went. And I'm at the Olympics. I'm at All-Star games. Like, that's what I knew as a kid. Like, it was a normal day for me to see all these NBA stars. So, I was having a conversation with a friend today because there's a clip of Michael Jordan talking to Dikembe Mutombo that circulates the internet like once or twice a year. And every time it circulates, there's me and one of my siblings in the background with my dad sitting on the table, and we're witnessing and engaged in this conversation. And and it's funny because me at 36 looks at that like, man, I don't remember that. Like, I think that I was like 10 years old at the time, which is, you have your memory at that time, but I just don't remember this conversation being ever happening, where most kids that were been 10 years old at that time would definitely remember that. Like, all my best friends that I have, they were like, how do you not remember that? Like, it's really Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, Dikembe Mutombo. I'm like, yeah, but to me, that's Dad, Uncle Dikembe, and Uncle Mike. Like, I don't remember that. I just don't remember it. It was just a funny moment. But yeah, so I would definitely say, like, as a young kid growing up, I just wanted to be like my dad. So as far as I can remember, I wanted to be an athlete. My favorite athlete of all time is Deion Sanders. He was, prime time. So growing up, he was actually the first jersey I ever had. Like, I had his jersey before I had my dad's jersey. So Deion Sanders was one of them. I was a big Rangers fan actually growing up. So like Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky are two of my favorite athletes as well. So, New York sports, of course. So, and then of course, like Derek Jeter, like, I was very fortunate to live in New York at a time when New York sports was some of the top sports in the world. So, obviously not on the football side, but with basketball, hockey, baseball, like, I mean, it's a great time to grow up in the area. So I had a lot of inspiration from people in that industry and people who actually could like meet and, be able to touch and talk to on a daily basis, which was very unique and very awesome. But then also like my mom is, as much as, my dad gets credit for being the professional athlete and the athlete in the house, my mother was a big supporter. She was the one who was traveling with me to games. She was the one who was pushing me to make me go work out and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of people think my dad was the one who would have been doing that, but it wasn't at all. Like, he was a more laid back guy. Like, hey, why don't you go be a doctor, be a lawyer? But my mom was like, look, you have a talent in this. So, like, we're going to make the most of it. So I would definitely say both of my parents, but then I also had a lot of help from people who were athletes as well. I'm coaching a professional league out there called the Canadian Elite Basketball League. And yeah, so we go out there. I'll go out there in May, and I'll be out there pretty much most of the summer. I think I'll come back in like September or something like that. Just enjoy it. I mean, these are some of the best years of your life. These are some of the best friends that you'll make in your life. There's still a couple of friends that I still communicate with every now and then, who I went to EMS with, and just enjoy it. I mean, cherish every moment. I mean, I know it's hard for you to see when you're so young, but when you get to be about my age, you'll really miss those times. And so just cherish each moment and enjoy it, and don't take it for granted.